Jeff Trular,
Here.
Todd Smith, Jennifer Williams, Matt Metz,
Here.
Laura Tierney.
Okay, next on our agenda is approval of the minutes for April 16, 2024. Is there a motion?
I was here, so I can't make a motion.
Good.
I move to approve the minutes. Second.
Okay, so moved and second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, any correspondence? Okay, there's no old business. Before we call the new business, for the applicants, normally we have 5 voting members, but tonight we have many people out and alternates out. So there's only 3 of us, which is enough for a quorum. However, you'll have to get an approval from all 3 in order to get your variance approved. So in light of that, if you would like to postpone to the next meeting, you can have that option. That being said, we'll go ahead and call the first case.
One second. Okay, the first case, BOA 24-10017, applicant Rick Johnson, trustee, Gail Daphne Yarborough, and Revocable Trust. Property address 3604 Ocean Drive. Motion to consider sections 34-336E1C1 for front yard setback of 20 feet in lieu of 25 feet minimum. 3436E1C2 for a westerly side yard setback of 7 feet in lieu of 10 minimum. 34336E1C3 for rear yard setback of 7 feet in lieu of 30 feet minimum. 34336E1E for 52% lot coverage in lieu of 35%. Construction of a single-family dwelling for property address 3604 Ocean Drive.
As a reminder, each member of the public will be given 3 minutes to speak when we open the public hearing. Does any board member have any ex parte communication?
I've had none. I've had none.
And I've had none. Would the applicant please come forward and present your request?
Please raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give in this matter is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
Please state your name and address.
Rick Johnston, 3528 Ocean Drive South. In preparation for this hearing this evening, I went around the neighborhood and talked to some neighbors, attempted to reach all of the neighbors that were impacted. 3 of them were not home, but I was able to get signatures.
Oh, you have to.
I'm also one of the signatures. I live across the street from the house. I'm at 3528. This is 3604. 3604 Ocean Drive South is a non-conforming, very irregular lot in South Jacksonville Beach, which is a very important area. Beautiful homes, you know, they complement each other. You know, things need to be deliberate and thought out. We put forth this plan to, you know, prepare to construct a single-family residence. The house that sits there now is from the 1950s. It's pretty run down. It'll be nice to add some fresh perspective to the neighborhood. The variance request is consistent with those that have been previously granted. Most recently, 3527 Ocean Drive South. That's the 100-foot lot on the ocean that was given lot coverage in excess of 50% setbacks. In disclosure to the board, you know, this will be my 6th home in the area that's been constructed that I've come before the board. 3510, 3518, my own home 3528, 3537, 5337, and now 3604. So I have a huge sense of pride in the area and invested to it, and I'm excited to be there every single day. So the difficulties with this lot is that it's so narrow on the corner. I mean, it's like 43 feet, and then when you impute the requirements to 50% of the frontage for the turn, and it really kind of gets restrictive. So we've come up with a plan that works, that we're comfortable with, and this is the setback relief that we request. And as it relates to lot coverage, the lot is on 6793. So the math, if it was a 10,000 square foot lot, we just went backwards from that. And don't feel like we're asking for anything beyond what would make this lot viable and consistent with the use of other, RS1 zoning lots.
Are you taking the old house down? or
Yes, sir, taking it down.
I'm not sure of that question. Yeah, how tall you go up, 2 stories or 3 stories?
3 stories on one part, 2 stories on the other.
Thank you for getting neighbors' input on that.
Like one of the people that weren't home, 37, now being to build their home, so I would assume that they would be in support of it.
And I assume the pool area, around the pool area, what is the surface material around the pool area, is that?
Some sort of, pervious material, yes, sir.
So you flood this out all the way?
Yep, all the way through, yes. Yeah, a lot of contemplation with regard to the elevations, view corridors, access points.
Questions I have?
Thank you. Do we have any speakers?
Yes, we have 2 speaker cards. The first one's from Colin Swaltz.
Let's now open the public hearing. Go ahead.
We have a speaker card from Colin Speltz, am I saying that right?
Yeah, spell it, spell it.
Like to address the board, want to come forward?
Please raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give in this matter is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Please state your name and address.
My name is Colin Spelt, 1612 Fifth Street South, Jacksonville Beach.
Go ahead.
Yeah, so I'm the architect who's going to be designing this lot. Typically, a lot is by code supposed to be at least 90 foot wide. And so at the north side, this lot, put back to where the buildable area is, we only have under a 25 foot width, which is extremely narrow. And then even if you look at the widest portion, which is the southernmost portion, that's probably when you get to the building line, because the normal lot would be rectangular. Even when you get to the building line, it's 66 at the property line, so it's even less than that. Let's say 60, so it's about 2/3 of the actual width of a normal lot that we allowed. Again, we don't want to build anything that's crazy. We want to keep all of the actual building area, lot coverage of what a normal sized lot would be. We just want to build a normal sized house that any of the other lots neighboring it are able to build. And that's the goal, is just to build a normal sized house that any of the other neighboring houses are able to build. Again, we're not even trying to max this out vertically. We're trying to create some open spaces, give some relief on the street fronts. Overall, I mean, the main goal is to create a house with nice curb appeal. If we do have to do a lot that's even smaller, we just have to go and make it more of a box. It's the only way to make it viable. If we have more lot space, then we have more play to make something that actually really brings more character to the community, especially that nice Southern community. That's all I have to say.
Thank you.
We have a card from Blake Deal. Bradley Deal? You should address the board.
Please raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give in this matter is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I did.
Please state your name and address.
Lake Deal, we're 1525B, the Greens Way, Jacksonville Beach.
Go ahead, sir.
Thank you. The next door neighbor to the west of this lot is who has hired me, Mr. and Mrs. Boland. They're building a new house next door to this house. And I'm not sure why there wasn't any communication, but they hired me to come here and oppose the variance. The reason that they did is because if you look at the 3 houses beside this lot going to the west, all 3 of those houses meet the front yard and the rear yard setback. So all of them have the main house to the north, then they have the garage behind the main house, and then they have the pool in the rear yard. Well, what was done with this one is they're swapping the pool and the garage, and that's creating this need for this huge request to decrease the rear yard setback from 7 feet from 30 feet to 7 feet. And if you look at the application, there's actually a mistake on it. The way he drew it out, it says code is 10 feet, and he's asking for 7, the code is 30. And the other 3 houses to the west, his neighbors, do meet that 30. But their main point of contention is trying to go forward of the line that all the other houses on the street meet on the front yard setback. They're asking to go forward an additional 5 feet. And when Mr. and Mrs. Boland designed their house, they did so, and it's under construction now with the expectation that any house built next to them would also be on the same line as their neighbors are to the west, and that the setback requires. And by this house going an additional 5 feet forward, it cuts off a huge amount of their view out towards the ocean. And I had hoped that I'd be able to put something on an overhead or something, but I can't do that. So I'll just give these to you, but I did draw how much of the view is lost by this house going forward that additional 5 feet. And I also showed how the houses to the west all meet the 30-foot rear yard setback and have the pools in the backyard, as opposed to this swapperoo that's being done on this one. And I diagrammed out the difference, and this is a large house being put on the lot. They have no problem with that, but their issue is that the design, a hardship is supposed to be something that's not in your control, but when you purposely design the structure so that you create the need for the variance, that's not a hardship. And we feel like this could easily be designed so that you didn't need the additional 5 feet in the front and all the distance in the back. And
Okay, thank you.
And just my own references, you're talking about in this diagram, house 52, 42, and 10?
I'm talking about my clients or the lot immediately to the west.
So it's on diagram, it shows 10, that's what I'm trying to
So
say.
up there on the thing.
Yeah, it says 10, I can't.
Yes, sir, 10, and then the other 2 houses I was talking about are 42 and 52.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Do we have any more speakers first?
That's all the speaker cards we have.
Okay, would the applicant care to address anything?
Yes, sir, please. If I could, sir. You know, the lot, the adjacent lot, it's a house that's under construction, and it's probably 6 months away from completion. It's a very, very, very large house. I didn't get an opportunity to see Mr. Deal's diagrams with regard to view corridors and so forth, but 3527, the 100-foot lot on the ocean, has been cleared for a year now. And that's one of 2 100-foot lots on Ocean Drive. The other one has a house on it. And Mr. Peter Gibson came before the board and presented a house plan, and the board was gracious enough to support his request for 52% lot coverage. And you know, it's a really unique design. It has 2 different towers on each end. So for myself, living in 3528, I have the same exact setback considerations, but you know, my rear yard is 7.5, my side yard is 7.5, my other side yard is 13, my front is 17. The way that the Ocean Drive runs, you know, basically reduces the frontages on those lots, and having the experience of having come before you to know the intricate details of those setbacks and how it works to make the orientation of the houses work, all that's been contemplated. You know, I can tell you that I've demonstrated commitment to the community, the consideration for the neighbors, construction, design, complimenting your neighbors, not, you know, boxing them out or anything like that, and that's my intent, to continue to do that. So it's a really difficult condition based on it being a corner lot, only having 24.5 feet of buildable space on the corner. There is to add to the curb appeal of the street and the character of the street. It's not much different than my home at 3528, where I've got the detached garage, the main house, and the courtyard that runs along the side, and it's all fenced in. That's the way to use those lots, and it really kind of expand it with open space and vegetation, and it's really just the best use. I'm not a huge fan of the giant boxes. I don't, the scale and the textures, those are important. I just believe that it's necessary. I think the request is warranted. It's consistent with variances that have been granted in the past. I think some of the considerations that have been, offered by Mr. Deal aren't relevant because of the impending construction at 3527. I mean, I've had an Ocean View for a year, and I don't know if it's going away. I know that it's going to go away. It's been great to have it, but it's certainly going to change. And I knew that when I bought my house and I built my house, and that's just part of it. You buy up front, or you buy other seats in the back. With that being said, the uniqueness of this lot is not going to change. It's a struggle to come up with a complementary design. We think we've got a good approach, and I would ask for the board's support.
Okay, thank you. Is there any member of the audience who has not filled out a speaker's card that wishes to speak? Okay, seeing none, I will now close the public hearing and bring the item back to the board for discussion. Is there a motion?
Make a motion to approve BOA 24-110017. Based on testimony evidence provided, the request has met all the standards for variances outlined in 34-286 of the Land Development Code.
Second.
Okay, it's moved and seconded. Any discussion?
Can I have a clarity on that question that was brought forth, whether this was written properly on this comment that was said about the 7 foot instead of 10 foot instead of 30? I didn't understand that.
I think it looks like it was written properly.
Sorry,
7 instead of 10 is on the side yard, and then the third line of the request, it's 7 instead of 30.
I read twice, things like that, but it is written right then, correct? How I read it.
I believe it is.
I was addressing the question that was brought to us in the
Yeah.
comments, that's all. I didn't read it wrong. So that's what we did. So,
I would just say you have a non-conforming lot, both in shape and size. I appreciate the comments that the setback of the house is going to be more forward than the rest of those houses on the 36th Avenue South. But it is a narrow lot. It is irregular. The hardship is not created at all by the applicants. I think that the point about the view on lot 10 there, the ocean view, is very valid in that 3527 is going to be built out, completed.
I would also say the board can't consider someone's view.
That's right. Yeah, it's not in our.
Whether it was built or not, or whether they had an ocean view, that's not in the code for us to factor in.
That's right, yeah, that's a good point. I do appreciate getting the neighbor signatures for the approval. Does anybody else have any other comments?
okay.
We have a roll call vote, please.
Jeff Trular,
Yes.
Matt Metz,
Yes.
Owen Curley.
Yes. Your request for variance has been approved. We call the next business.
Okay, next app, BOA-24-10018, applicant Michael Disa, saying it right? Disa?
Yes.
Okay. Address is 774 14th Avenue South. Motion approved 34-337E1E for 40.4% lot coverage to move 35% maximum. 34-337E1G for pool setback of 5 feet in lieu of 5 feet minimum between the pool and the house for construction of a new swimming pool and deck addition to a single-family dwelling property address 774 14th Avenue South.
Okay, as a reminder, each member of the public will be given 3 minutes to speak when we open the public hearing. Does any board member have any ex parte communication?
I've had none.
I've had none.
And I've had none. Would the applicant please come forward to be sworn in and give their presentation?
Please raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give in this matter is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Please state your name and address.
My name is Michael Dessa. I'm at 774 14th Avenue South, Jacksonville Beach, 32250. I'm asking for support in allowing us to add the swimming pool and the decking with special consideration given that we moved into a situation that we already were over the lot coverage. We're aware of what we're trying to do here in the community, and we're trying to stay in support of that. Now, I believe that the requests that I've seen from visiting some of our neighbors on the same street are certainly within guidelines of what those properties have been able to accomplish. Respectfully, I'm looking for support for this request.
Have you spoken to your neighbors?
Yes, I have.
And what was their reaction?
They're fine with it. The neighbor on my left side is fully in support. They have a pool. Neighbor on my right side is, again, very cooperative, willing to flip the fence. I've been across the street, 2 houses to my right. They're in the process of adding a pool, the tiki hut, right next to the neighbor that has the McMansion. That's like 3 or 4 stories with every molecule of that lot covered. So we're trying to stay consistent and not and respectful for water flow and everything else here at the beach.
And the board does recognize you do have an undersized lot. 7,500 square feet would be your normal lot size. You're 62?
Yes, sir.
Any other questions?
Can you speak a little bit to the reason for wanting to be 4 feet instead of 5 feet from the home? Is it the size of the pool? Is it prefabrication of the pool? Or
I'm sorry, the 4 feet versus,
one of the exemptions that you're asking for, exceptions, is for the pool to be 4 foot away from the home instead of the required 5 foot away from the home. So what is it particular about the pool that makes that foot a point of contention?
honestly, wasn't aware that that was a special consideration that we were looking for. So I'm assuming that's,
The diameter, 4 foot to the coping, you're 5 foot to the water. The coping gets added that foot.
Okay.
Yeah, when staff reviewed the survey, we found that in there.
yeah. So I wasn't aware that we were asking for
So
anything.
is it the pool or is it the coping you go?
To the coping.
To the pool.
Yes.
So that really, because the pool does show 5 feet, right?
Yeah, that's what I thought it was.
Yeah, coping shows 4 and
I guess it's.
Yeah, because it has to be 5 feet away from the main structure and all like the lines. So when we measured it, it would look like it was like 4 feet away instead of 5.
the diagram was attached, showed 4 and 5.
So just to clarify, what we're being asked to approve at this point is that your pool can be 4 feet from the home and that your lot coverage can exceed the 35% maximum and be at 40.4.
Yes, sir.
Would you be amicable to a revised
Yeah,
approval to where the pool is 5 foot from the home?
I believe that it
I don't know
was
if that
5 foot
changes
to
your
begin with,
dimensions.
so I'd like to take a look at it if that's what's necessary, but again, I thought that the design that we were presenting outside of the lot coverage was within the guidelines.
So can the staff take a look at that drawing? Because I'm looking at the drawing and it shows 5 feet to,
Pool, water, 4 to the coping, I'm looking, that's what I
so is it 4 to the coping?
I see.
5?
5 to the coping, but I guess when we calculated that day, it was 4 that we came up with. Considering that the survey's on scale.
Okay.
If you push it at 5.
So it could be possibly off a little bit, depending on how we did the scale and how we measured it.
If we push it back, he's going
Then
to.
the lot coverage can change,
Yeah,
keeps things as well.
that's right.
I'm okay with it.
Okay. Okay, any other questions?
Thank you.
Okay, you can have a seat, sir.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
As a reminder, let's see, we have any speaker cards?
No, Mr. Speaker, questions?
Is there anyone in the audience who has not yet filled out a speaker's card? Anyone in the audience?
Anyone?
10018. The applicant has met all of the conditions outlined in section 34-286 of the Land Development Code.
Okay, it's been moved, is there a second?
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded, discussion?
It's
I was just,
clearly an undersized lot.
yeah, undersized lot.
I was gonna say, if we're wrong and you can meet the 5, as long as you show it on the as-built survey when it's done, you should be able to do 5.
Yeah, I don't think that's a problem.
Yeah, you don't have to do it. If he says he's gonna be able to do 5 instead of 4, then you should be okay. We can amend to approve the 5 instead of the 4.
I think we've got the motion, so let's see where the motion goes.
I'm okay with 4. I think that, it seems to me that it's what, 4 to the cooking, 5 to the water. So, I'm okay with that. Any other discussion?
No.
Okay, can we have a roll call vote, please?
Jeff Trular.
Yes.
Matt Metz.
Yes.
Owen Crowley.
Yes, your request for variance has been approved.
Thank you so much.
Okay, is there a planning department report?
The comp plan was at the planning commission last night, and they guess gave us some advice to add a couple things in for the schools and stuff. So we'll be back with the plan, the comp plan back in May 20th, 2 weeks from now. They'll go back to the planning commission, and then our next meeting is on May 21st, and we have 2 items.
Okay, thank you. Courtesy to Florida visitors. Okay, there you go. Move to adjourn.
Motion adjourned?
Second, all in favor?